Alright, book nerds, welcome back to Beyond the Bookmark, the podcast where we read, overanalyze, and get way too attached to fictional characters. And we're proud of it. If books have ever left you staring at the ceiling, questioning your entire existence, you're in the right place. Before we begin, be warned that the next episode it's cinema time, and so you must enjoy the books while they last. I'm Samuel Borge, writer, reader, and still emotionally recovering from way too many historical fiction books. And today, we're talking about something major. My top 3 books of all time. Now, this wasn't easy to decide. Yes, these books blew my mind, and if you haven't read them yet, I'm about to change your reading list. So grab your bookmark, because we're about to dive into 3 books that left me speechless. Kicking things off, we have The Hero on the Bicycle by Shirley Hughes. And let me tell you, this book is criminally underrated. It sits in Italy during World War II and follows a boy named Paolo, who gets tangled up in the resistance, helping fight back against the Nazis, all while riding a bike. Sounds simple? Think again. What makes this book a masterpiece is its writing and unpredictability. Nothing about this story plays out the way you expect. Every decision Paolo makes feels real, and the tension, it's real. Hughes doesn't just throw in action for the sake of it. Every twist serves the purpose. It's a war story, but it's also about courage, choices, and even how the smallest actions can influence consequences. It's fast-paced, emotional, and honestly, one of the best World War II books I've ever read. If you want to read a story that keeps you on the edge without being predictable, this is the one. Next up, we have A Whistle in the Dark by Shirley Hughes. If you like books that mess up with your head in the best way possible, this one is for you. It's a historical fiction, but the mystery and suspense elements are what make it unforgettable. Every chapter gives you enough time to think about what's happening, and then bam, the story shifts. You never quite know where it's going, and that's what makes it brilliant. And let's talk about the writing. It's sharp, immersive, and full of small details that make huge consequences later on. And if you don't read this book, you've experienced it. You get wrapped up in the world, the characters, and before you know it, you're on the last page, wondering how time flew by. This is one of the books that proves historical fiction isn't about history. It's about people, decisions, and the ripple effect they create. Absolutely top tier. And finally, Goodnight, Mr. Tom by Michelle Magarin. Now, if you've read this book, you already know why it's here. If you haven't, prepare yourselves. This is one of the most beautifully written and emotionally powerful books out there. It follows Willie, a young evacuee sent from London to the countryside during World War II, and Tom, the older man who takes care of him. And listen, if you think this is just a simple found family story, you're wrong. The character development is some of the best I've seen. And Willie's transformation, Tom's journey, and the way their relationship grows, it's so well done. And just when you think that you've figured it out, the story shifts. This book doesn't just tell a story, it makes you feel it. It deals with heavy themes, but it does it in so much heart, and the ending, let's just say, you'll need a moment or several. So there you have it, my top 3 books of all time. Hero on a Bicycle, A Whistle in the Dark, and Goodnight, Mr. Tom. What do they all have in common? Incredible writing, unpredictability, and the ability to stick with you. If you haven't read these yet, do yourself a favor and pick one up. And if you have read them, hit me up and let's talk about them. Agree, disagree, let's debate respectfully. Next episode, we're diving into another historical fiction classic, and this time, it's a movie. So, this is Beyond the Bookmark. I'm Samuel Borge, and I'll see you beyond the next chapter.
Every corner holds a piece untamed, a puzzle alive with no